Chair of the JCDC.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Greg Sims. I'm the Director of Productions at the JCDC.
Michelle Narasing, Marketing and Promotions Coordinator, JCDC.
Good afternoon, everyone. Patrice Ricketts, Commissioner, JCDC.
Good afternoon, everyone. Glennett Sinclair, Commissioner, JCDC.
Okay, and if I may ask the members of the panel of judges to introduce, I would like to start with Mr. Gussie Clark, who is the chairman.
Gussie Clark, adjudicator, chairman of the adjudication councils professionals.
I'm Cleveland Brownie, author, composer, musician, producer from Steely and Cleaver Productions, and also a board member of Jamaica Music Society.
I am Freddie McGregor, recording artist, producer, songwriter as well. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Elaine Lawton, singer, songwriter, radio personality, television personality, Jamaican.
Afternoon, Donovan Jermaine, Penthouse Records, producer, artist manager, a member of the Jams board.
Okay, I would invite, if I know my team of persons from the media, if you could just introduce yourselves and just indicate the organization that you are representing.
My name is Beverly Davis, and I am representing Rhythm FM.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Richard Burgess, Richie B, of Bridge 99 FM.
Good afternoon, everyone. If you have a Burgess, you must have a burger. My name is the Burger Man. Where's the Burger Man burger? Where's the Burger Man burger? I represent Mellow FM. So you have a Burgess and a burger.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jojo Mack, aka Pistol Boss, representing Energy Radio 1 in New York.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Richard Blackford, and I'm right here in South Florida, representing Yard Media and Jamaicans.com.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stephanie Leo, representing the Gleaner and Star.
Good afternoon. This is Marlon Burrell, representing Reggae Global Radio, based in South Florida.
Okay, anybody else, anyone else? All right, if not, and I'll just thank you again for coming, and I'll just get on with it. So the issue of the festival song has been a topical item in the recent days. I think coming from the announcement that was made by our Minister of Culture in Parliament that the festival song competition would not be executed this year. And she also advised that that decision was taken based on the recommendation from the panel of judges. Now, we had several entries, 123 entries that came in, and they were all evaluated by our panel of judges. And at the end of it, a recommendation was made that was submitted to her. So in their view, the entrants that came and were listened to overall, they did not attain the relevant standards, and as such, they were not able to make a recommendation for a top 10 or finalists to warrant a competition, right? And that recommendation was presented and was accepted by our minister. The judges also identified and indicated that there were 2 songs that they consider worthy of recognition as entry songs. Now, having received that, the minister also then spoke with the panel of judges and asked them to just revisit the songs and to see if any other or several others could be considered, just to ensure that she recognized the professional recommendation, but just for there to be another revisit and to look at it. Coming out of that, they identify that possibly there could be one other. So as it is now, there were 3 songs that have been identified and recommended that it can go forward. I just, in terms of information to bring to the attention of my media partners, just an extract of some of the rules that related to the festival song competition. 1, and it is in no special order. It indicated that all entries submitted must be unpublished, must be original songs, and shall not infringe on any copyrights or any other rights of a third party. The entrance warrants that the entry is an original song, and entries shall be entered inconsistent with foregoing. And JCDC here is mentioned because, as you are all aware, JCDC is really the entity that administers the operation of the festival song competition. Additionally, it notes that the song may be based on any subject, but shall be one that can rally the nation, stir a spirit of togetherness, is inspirational, and engineers national pride. And the music must be of Jamaican rhythms. In addition, the song shall be one that is memorable and should be able to stimulate the audience to sing along and or to dance to its catchy beat. Now, another condition indicates that the JCDC reserves the right to decide the method of selecting the winning song, and also reserve the right to reject any or all entries submitted. And just one other rule I would mention to you: by entering the Jamaica Festival Song Competition, entries agree to accept and be bound by decisions of the JCDC, which are final and binding in all matters. Entrants shall agree to be bound by all terms and officially JCDC rules and regulation as established herein. Now I just go on. You have been introduced to the judges. So in the process, we had identified 5 judges, and they were identified to you earlier on, who we asked to be the professional who will assess the songs. So all the songs that were submitted were then referred to this panel of judges to listen to them and to make their recommendation. Now, on the first listening session, only 4 members of the judging panel were present. Actually advised that Mr. Freddie McGregor was absent due to other commitments. So the 4 judges listened to all the songs that were submitted And from that listening, then a short list would have been created. This short list was therefore listened by all five, because then Freddie joined the team and all five members of the judging panel listened to that short list. And at the end of the 2 sessions, the judges, and I should add that as part of the guideline, the rules, some of the guidelines given to the judges, that the song must be original and should not have any swear words or any lyrics which can be deemed to be insensitive to any person or group of persons. And of course, that the song should be fully produced. Now, the recommendation was then made by the panel of judges to the minister, our Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport. And based on that recommendation, we have therefore led to the announcement that was made by the Honorable Minister. And I know that there are much public comment in regards to the song. In regards to the song, I should say that we are also disappointed that we do not have a competition. However, I think, well, Gussie will speak from the judge's perspective, but overall, it is one where we are celebrating our 60th anniversary. And it would be, I think, a little bit of an injustice if we were to put songs to our Jamaican people that were considered that they did not actually attain the quality standards that we referred to. So I will refer now and ask Gussie if you can come in and just make your comments from the judge's perspective.
Yeah, hi all. Thank you for coming. And we see it as a duty to provide some clarity where necessary. So basically, as chairman of the panel of judges, I would like to present a few brief pointers. One, my designation in the process was to ensure that all rules and guidelines are followed, and I can unreservedly confirm that the process was and unbiased. Individually and collectively, we the judges are music professionals that indirectly adjudicate on our own job on a day-to-day basis, and we have been doing so for most of our life. So doing this project for the JCDC was basically our country and nothing new to any of us. Individually and collectively, we agreed upon the fact that the quality of the songs, the song entries presented to us this year, were not of high standard, and we judge accordingly based upon the guidelines that was given to us. Not all the songs fell below acceptable standard. There are ultimately at the end, there are about 3 songs which we agreed could go forward. One particular song stood out from day one, but we did not feel that a competition could go forward with only 3 entries. It requires a minimum of 10 songs. So I've made any choice made that we would have had to compromise our standard to simply agree on finding 10 songs rather than 10 songs of an acceptable standard. We are equally disappointed with the fact that 10 great songs was just not there, and that is what was required to make the competition a reality. Any other outcome would be compromising of our professionalism and a deviation from our known best practices. We individually and collectively stand by our original decision as we feel this was what was best in the interest of us as a people, competition as a competition, and fairness and balance.
Okay, thank you, Gussie. Okay, so you have heard from the representative of the judges. The other judges are here, and members of the JCDC group are also here. So I will now open the floor for questions that you may have or you will want to pose to us, and we see who will be the best person to respond to the respective questions.
Commissioner Hill, Could you just remind our media partners that before they ask a question, for them to identify the media in which they represent?
Right, and if they just you could raise your hand in the online, so we can recognize you.
Richard Blackford from Jamaicans.com. The 60th anniversary observances, I would suspect we all knew this was coming 60 years ago. But quick immediate question, in terms of the competition, what was the timeline? When did the organizers put the requests out to the public to submit entries? When was the first time that this was done?
Gregory, you want to comment on that?
Sure, and Michelle can back me up, but promotions and engagement would have begun from about October, November. And certainly there's a soft sort of push from the closing of the competition last year. It's an annual sort of cycle.
Yes, that's correct.
And so you're saying this thing, the requirements for entries, the length of the timeline really sounded like just about 2 to 3 months. Am I correct?
No, it's an annual competition, so there's constant.
I know it's an annual competition. I understand that a long time ago. I've been around from the first festival song. I'm just saying, in the context of this is 60 years of a diamond celebration, diamond independence celebration. For me, that means a whole heap more than just an ordinary festival song. That's why I'm asking, I'm really just trying to understand the timeline before I pose my next question.
Okay, I think what Mr. Sims is saying is that we started sensitizing the nation to the competition from about October or November. The initial closing date for entries, I think, was about either the end of January or thereabout. However, we did extend it because the number of entries that came in was on the low side, and there was some feedback indicated persons wanted more time to put together their song. So the closing date was extended to facilitate those persons. And ultimately, when we eventually closed everything, then that is when the rolling for assessment started.
Closure was, you said when? January?
The initial closure, and Gregory, you may have this. Was the first closure the end of January or the end of February?
End of January is correct.
End of January. And we had extended it. Ultimately, we had closed off. The final closure after some extension was in March.
March, yes, March 18, middle of March.
Yes.
3 months.
I think so.
Any other questions?
Galaxy S9 hand is up.
Yes.
Hi, it's Anthony Miller here.
Oh, Anthony, yeah, go ahead.
Right, so I heard Gussie say that the standard had fallen or the standard was not up to scratch. Compared to last year, just give us an indication. What is he actually referring to? What did he note? What was their depreciation in? What had sort of fallen? Can he give us more of an idea of what he meant by just, a lowered standard?
I actually didn't use the word falling because I was actually comparing this year with this year, not with previous years. Now, and it might have been so with previous years, I'm not sure. But what we know, the criteria we're looking at, for example, a whole lot of them were songs that had interpolations of other songs. They were not mixed properly, didn't sound properly. Some was just a cappella coming. Some, it was so poor in terms of lyrical content, the delivery of the artistry of the singer. the quality of the music. It was many different elements that alluded to being falling standard. The criteria, if I'm understanding, clearly stated that there should be recordings that were properly recording and mixed and no elements or interpolations of any other existing recording. And a lot of them fell below that part, could not even be listened to in some cases based upon the failure of adherence to the guidelines and rules.
So what percentage represented people who are already known quantities in the music business in terms of established entertainers, people with an existing reputation? How many of those were entrants this year?
If I may come in here, Anthony, the panel of judges cannot comment on that, and neither even here at JCDC, because when the entries are presented to the panel of judges, they are only presented with an entry number. There is no information provided to the panel in regards to the singer, the producer, the songwriter, or anything. So they are simply assessing the song that is before them, nothing else.
And I can confirm that.
So why do you think this year sort of stands out as the year when you couldn't find enough entrants, or you couldn't find enough, you know, a good material out there so we could have proceeded with the competition? Is there some, I mean, why do you think that's the case? Gussie, having thought about it, what do you attribute it to?
On a little bit further research, it is my view at this point that previously the standard was going down in many different years and occasions. And I think there when Bourgeois and a lot of known artists came into play, that direction was taken to try to bring some value, attention, and artists of a greater understanding or professionalism. So I think it basically might have been just a natural evolution that just took place, just not sure.
Is it time for S9?
Yes.
No, it was time for Bert, but S9, go ahead.
I am wondering what is the way forward, because Anthony would have just alluded to the question that since we would have drawn from persons, experienced persons, let's say Buju Banton or Toots Metal, if we saw that the quality and the standard of the songs were going down for this particular year in the 60th Jubilee celebration, why haven't we drawn from that sector to put out something of caliber for a grand Jubilee celebration of this than to now tell the nation? You could even see in Parliament the reaction on Juliet Cuthbert's face when the announcement was made. She was like, I didn't just hear that. So it is a shocker to the nation. We're going into a 60th celebration. And first and foremost, we were anticipating that we would have been detached from the Queen for this Jubilee celebration. That is not forthwith anymore. And a second shocker is the song. So we're wondering, what direction are we going? What are we going to do? Are we going to draw something from one of the experienced persons of the past? Let's say you call for a chronics, you call for somebody to help, than to have made such an announcement.
If I may just comment briefly, and I open to other members to comment afterwards. And yes, we will not have a festival song competition as we have known it, but it doesn't mean that we will not have a festival song to effectively guide and drive the nation as we come together. Because the festival song has really been, you could say, the nucleus of our independence celebration. So we have mentioned that there were 3 songs that were identified by the judges that can be worthy of consideration. Those songs will be, and of course, as mentioned, though they are worthy of consideration, they do need improvement in their respective quality. And that will be done in order so that they can also be a part of the celebratory aspect of our independence. So we will have festival songs, but we will not have the festival song competition in the way we are accustomed to having it.
May I add something here for Burgess? In terms of you ask the question of the way forward, one of the things I think we need to look at or to revisit is that there might now needs to be some more or a different approach in keeping some pre-competition training and understanding the context of the contest, the nature, songwriting, how to present what is required. So some kind of other interventions, technical, musical production might need now to be a pre-part of the competition going forward. And from the judge's perspective, when we run into what we run into, we can't do anything more than deal with what comes to us. We would have no clue what is coming or what is there.
But respectfully, Gussie, that statement that you just made is decades late, because we have recognized that the quality and the production in those songs were going down. I can tell you far back as when. And if you notice, Jamaicans and the diaspora, the same songs we sing over and over and can remember, This Is the Land of My Birth, and all of those, where I think the quality start going down. Remember the song, She Stop, She Go, She Stop, and Go. From the year that I don't remember what year, if I'm right, so the quality was declining. And until they brought back Buju, you do a poll in the streets and ask anybody to identify prior to Stop and Go, identify any winners coming down from that era. And they will probably go to Buju Banton. Nobody remembers any of them, except from The Land of My Birth, The Astronauts, you know the ones. And those are the ones that still resonate in the Jamaican mind. I'm on the radio and I don't know none of them.
Boom.
All right, I think.
I just want to think, because here's another question, and it's something that bothers me. The competition for festival songs over the years, is this a competition for professionals, or it's an amateur competition?
It is a competition that is geared towards the professionals. And that's why we ask that the entries should be fully produced songs. Nonetheless, when we do look at entries that are submitted, we do have a number of entries on occasions that do not meet much of that standards. As the judges will say, when they listen to some of the entries, it gives the impression as if somebody just uses a cell phone or something and just go to record some music. Some of them are submitted, not that a cappella cannot stand on its own, but they're submitted in an a cappella format. So we are trying to push to get more of our professionals to participate in the competition. And you would have seen that over the last 2 years.
But I with respect, Gussie, I have to salute the observations that you made earlier. I have been around long enough to remember when Toots Animators won with Bam Bam. So I come from far, 1965. And the competition, to my knowledge, had always been an amateur competition. We have made a couple of attempts, it seems, over the last couple of years to try to professionalize the competition, when it seems the suggestion that Gussie just made just now would have been suggestions that ought to have been in consideration a long time ago. Now, I want to go further, that we have had the dislocation of the last 2 years with the COVID-19 thing, which provided us with a sort of a cushion period where we could have put a lot of other things in place to try to raise stuff up. And that is why I kept asking, I'm asking the question about when the thing was put out there and the timeline and so on, because you turn 60 years in something, it is not something to take lightly. Our music was born out of these competitions. Veer Johns in the 1950s is what opened the door to a lot of singers people like Freddie McGregor come through those ranks, right? Singing competition is an integral part of what has built our music over the last 6-7 decades. And to see us getting to this point where we're literally saying, because the decision here is literally saying that we're throwing that out with the baby with the bathwater. That's what it seems like to me.
I don't think that's a question, right? It's a statement. I know
I'm sorry,
that
it's an observation that I just needed to
make. Galaxy S9. I don't know if they have spoken already, so their hand is up, followed by Richard Burgess.
Mr. Burgess is next. Yes, Galaxy X9 is Bergerman, sir.
All right, Richard B.
Yes, good afternoon again. To the judges, I have to ask, were there any attempts to say use the resources available at the JCDC to somehow maybe lift the standard of the entries in terms of the production of those songs? Because if you have 3, you'd only need 7 more. So if we really took this thing seriously, are we saying that of all of those lot, you couldn't find 7 more songs that could be given some assistance in terms of production quality to bring it up to the standard, so we could actually have a competition?
You want it, Freddie?
Yes, I can. I'd love to. Richard, let me say here, and good afternoon, everyone. And as it relates to production and songs and song qualities, the caller before, the gentleman who spoke before from Florida, he says it well. This is our Jubilee celebration. So I don't suspect that you would want some songs that are not of the highest standard to represent Jamaica 60th, and especially in the form of our festival song competition. What I find, and most of our panel members found, is that some of the songs, for example, that lyrically you could sift through it and probably help it right, the vocal is not on par. Because people just tend to think that because you write a song, you must sing the song. That is one of the problems. So let's say the lyrical contents may be okay, the vocal and delivery is not proper, and vice versa. And those are some of the major problems that we run into. Also, like Mr. Hillard said, there are criterias. And to be honest with you, a lot of the songs did not sound Jamaican to me. We're still back in that day when we are in a mental mood and all those stuff. So it's a number of things that contributed to not being able to find the best quality songs to choose 10 from.
Additionally, while I wait on maybe the next question, just to mention was made of COVID-19 and so forth, but just also to mention that in the recent years, we were not able to conduct the extensive workshops and so forth that we would normally do, because we normally would conduct workshops in a number of different parishes and provide some additional guidance and support to persons in terms of how they can structure their songs and how they structure their lyrics and things like that. But because of COVID-19, we were unable to do much of that. And so that definitely is something, one of the areas that will be a major focus going forward. We are somewhat in, well, still in COVID territory, but there is less restrictions. And so we would be able to go out in the marketplace and to conduct much of these workshops and seminars to ensure that the persons who have interest in the competition can be given a certain amount of guidance and guidelines into how to produce and organize their entries.
So does this now mean that festival song competition is obsolete?
No, I would not say that.
Or needs to be turned into some sort of competition that happens every 2 years? Because is there a realistic expectation that the standards that you referred to earlier are going to improve next year?
Well, I think from the JCDC perspective, we have to really go back to the drawing table and look at some of the critical things that can be done and that we need to do in order to improve the quality of the entries. But I would not say that the competition is a thing of the past. No, it
But
is.
respect.
Go ahead, brother.
No, I'm saying respectfully, Mr. Chair, if we're saying that we're going back to the drawing board at this stage, and we have recognized as a nation and from the JCDC perspective that the quality and the standards have fallen, not just today, at least 3 decades now. You know, and I heard Mr. McGregor said something. I know it's not in a disparaging way, but he would have mentioned that some of the songs have the same old mental sound and them stuff there, which is still a part of our cultural iconic sound. But the question is, what then is the sound we're looking for? What is it that we're trying to capture? Is that information just is embedded within the JCDC, or us even as producers and record announcers and disc jockeys, we know what is the sound you're going after too? Because look at Cherry Oh Cherry Oh Baby. If you look at a song like Cherry Oh Cherry Oh Baby, what is it saying about Jamaica, land, wood, water, and sea? But it was one of the big hits, you know what I mean? So what is it really? What is the standard of judging? What is it we're looking for? 125 entries, and you're saying only 2 songs was worthy and 1 is possibly being worthy. And the second addition to my thing is, what is the cost of a production for a song? Because we have to be fair to these entries now, or these entrants. Yeah. What is the cost of producing a song? Studio time, all of them stuff there. And even now, the minister would have announced that you're going to refund them their entry fee. You're not refunding them their production fee, the cost to put that song together. So is it full time now that JCDC send people to a studio, sit down with them before from them reach a cappella and guide them vocal and otherwise, and then you send them in a studio? Who's going to offset those things?
Okay. We have looked at a number of different approaches. So before COVID-19, one approach that we had started was to go, and in that year, we did it in terms of different regions, and have basically an opportunity where persons would come and present their songs, and they will be listened to, and we do a selection to see if, and even if they present it in an a cappella format, and it is considered worthy of production and to enter the competition, then we could still select it and give some guidance and support in terms of its production in order to get it into the competition, right? Now, that is an approach that we had started. However, with COVID, that aspect has been suspended. So that is something that can still be on the table that we can use to try and improve the quality of the submissions.
Mike, I had something here to ask a question about costs of a song. Can be anywhere from $100,000 to $1 million, depending upon the production, the producer, and the personnel involved. So I do understand what you're saying and support it to say that maybe they need to look at the prize money, because I think the prize money have something to do with the quality of what we end up getting, or maybe the status of the individuals who are applying or becoming entrants to the competition. So I think those are things that also need to be looked at, really. But remember again, the point that you asked about who going to give back the people their money, in fairness, really, when a competition is on, is winners win, not necessarily losers in fairness to the process.
And I am going to just add also that while it's a competition and it is geared to the winner, so as it is now, the competition has a winning prize money of $3 million. $1 million to the writer, $1 million to the producer, and $1 million to the songwriter, to the performer, sorry. However, before COVID-19, which is when we were able to go on the road with the finalists, we provided a sum to each finalist to assist them in getting and being part of the roadshow. So therefore, once you reach into the top 10, you are provided with what we refer to as out-of-pocket expenses to be on the road, promoting your song and assisting in the whole galvanizing of the process.
Would you admit to some embarrassment that you weren't able to pull off a competition in a Jubilee year, that this represents a failure on the part of the ministry and what the ministry promised in revitalizing the festival song competition and making it relevant and impactful yet again to Jamaicans?
Well, I think it is disappointing for all of us, right? It is disappointing for all of us because we all look forward to the festival song and that ultimate song that will galvanize the nation in our celebration. So it is disappointing to all of us.
If I may, I see this as an opportunity for growth and improvement in the future. When the key points that were missed that caused these songs not to be accepted, when these get rubbed in, when they recognize where the failures were, I hope that this will allow for improvement where these will not be the mistakes in the future.
Are we going to have a competition next year? And can you guarantee that based on what really? Because you really don't know what the standard of the entries will be next year. So it kind of calls into question the future of the competition. Is it something that we going forward can sustain?
Chairman Anthony, to answer that, I will ask Director of Events and Production, Gregory Sims, to speak to somewhat we're going forward. Mr. Sims?
Thanks, Chair. Hi, everyone. The question of the viability of festival song is certainly not new. I'm pretty young, but I've been around and I've had it gone around. It was pop song at one time, festival song come and going. But Minister Grange has made it pretty clear in terms of her intention of revitalizing festival song. And it was going there, especially the year with Buju. But what is the challenge now for us at the JCDC is really about getting and engaging at the community level and building capacity at the grassroots where music and music production and performance is concerned. So certainly in the short term, and you're right, Anthony, right now hit the ground running in terms of engaging and mobilizing in a two-pronged approach. One, a sort of format that engages amateurs, because that's where you have to find talent and interest. So the return of a program like the Pop and Variety program is on the table and contest is on the table. And certainly the usual rollout of capacity building and workshops and engagement and having regular dialogue with industry experts and leadership to see what is there, what is the sort of ebb and flow going on with the competition. And that is a general strategy and structure going forward. It's complex, it's interesting. There is a lot of nostalgia and interest in the program because it reminds all of us about something important about Jamaica. But at the JCDC too, we have to ensure that the nostalgia and the sentimentalism is also reflected in value for money. You know, the competition costs, and we have to ensure that, hey, when we come and we present products to the public and the people of Jamaica, I guarantee you, the minister says it, will be dancing, there will be music, there will be something to galvanize the nation around Jamaica 60. That's the point of having the festival song. That is why it was created, something for people really celebrate with and build that sort of repertoire of patriotism and nationhood. So that is the general scope of how we can get things going forward. And we welcome conversation with you and other players in the room in how we can get that going.
So this had nothing to do with money, by the way, just let me ask quickly. This had nothing to do with money. You had the full budget for the competition. It's just that you
It's
didn't
a
have
quality
enough.
concern, yeah, based on the
Nothing
recommendation.
at all to do with money, nothing.
It's a
Before
quality
Giovanni comes in, let me just add and say that the question in terms of the way forward, our both amateurs and professionals do submit entries to the competition. And one of the way forward that we are looking at is to put together a pop and variety competition where the amateur talents would be directed in that competition. And so the festival song competition would look more towards now the professionals so as to improve the quality of input. That in itself will take some amount of marketing and communication, and also a possibility whereby even if entries come into festival song, if they are not worthy of that competition, we can channel them to the pop and variety. So that really is something that we have to look at and see how best we can coordinate and arrange that. Giovanni, you can come in.
Hi, good afternoon. Apologies for my lateness. I got the notification about this press briefing late. And so just from a news perspective, I don't know who would be the person to speak. Just succinctly tell us, what's the state now? I know we've heard information that there won't be a festival song competition this year. Just as briefly as you could, what's the situation now and what will be happening this year, given the absence of what Jamaicans have become used to in the festival song competition?
Well, in summary, as Minister Grange indicated in Parliament, that we will not have the festival song competition. However, given the output from the judges' adjudication, there are, as it is now, 3 songs that were entered in the competition that we will be working with them to improve the quality of the submission. Those songs will be in the marketplace as part of the festival independence celebration. Right? Additionally, we are reaching out to persons in the industry for them to write a song or some songs that can be a part of our Jamaica 60 celebration. So our Independence for Jamaica 60 will have a number of songs that persons can identify with as we go into the celebration.
But you can't guarantee a competition next year.
No, as I said to you, we will be putting in different systems in order to have a competition next year, because that is on the table right now, where we will have a competition next year. And Minister has stated and given instructions into a number of things that must be done in order for us to have a competition next year.
Mr. Chair, I might have to leave. My wife just indicated that the soup is ready. But nonetheless, one of the systems—
You have time for it to cool. You have time for it to cool. You mustn't have it when it's too hot.
That's true. One of the systems you mentioned, I'm going to be very frank and realistic to you. At the point in which the competition or the song is selected, work with me here. By the time gets the opportunity for the radio announcers and the media personality to play in that song, that's also another challenge. For a national event, the song must be synced on basically all platforms, because even if I'm not interested in a song, repetition plays a very important role in learning. And I am a DJ, I'm a radio announcer. I have to look at the quality of my show. I want to put my show and my content out there. So if your content now grab me, then I really play it.
Which is the same point that we are making, you know.
Yeah, so it is left to the mercy now, and you need to have better system. You know, whether one song is about 3 minutes, and that is almost 6 commercials, and check the value of a commercial. You follow where I'm going? You follow where I'm going?
Yeah.
So you can't now infringe on a radio personality or a radio station to just play it out of love or out of national pride. And sometimes the song them not make sense. So now if you have a better system to ensure and guarantee that it is being played on all major platforms so that it goes out there and the public, it can now resonate with the public. Alain, Freddie, on the talk up.
Yeah. Well, usually the timeline that we work with is to have the songs to the media houses by the latest, the middle of July.
And I also respond here too. 2 things. It is our view that the songs that the 3 songs identified, that 1 or 2 of them are exceptional songs that in itself will automatically up and jump to you. That is 1. 2, can you imagine how you feel now of not having a competition? We actually said same way of giving those songs that we know all the criteria and points you just made would not fit in here to get a longer timeline. So we had a serious problem as the judges to say, radio, anybody will support this. We didn't see it. So we were worse disappointed than many persons who were disappointed as judges and as professionals we were. So why you kind of understand our pain from the judge's perspective?
I would like to address that.
Just before you come in, Cleve, just before you come in, because Richard B has been waiting for a while. Followed by
Mr. Hill, 1 second, just give me a minute. I'm admitting the Honorable Minister. She is joining us. Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome, Honorable Minister Olivia Grange, to this DJCDC press conference. And I know you have been listening online, so welcome. Commissioner Hill, go ahead.
Yes, welcome, Minister. You wish to say something now, Minister, or you will comment just after the next 2 questions?
I will. Hello, everyone.
Yes.
I'm on the way from the country, so I hope my reception will, but until the other 2 questions, because I have some comments.
Okay. All right. So in the interim, Richard B, you can
we
go
get
ahead.
Richard B? Yes, please.
Okay. Please understand, I'm not the minister. The minister. I wanted to be clear. I think we all agreed that we need to have some kind of song or songs to enhance our 60th celebration. Did the chairman say that? Because I was about to ask if you're going to commission a song separately. Is that a correct interpretation of what you said, Commissioner?
Well, no, what I said is that the 3 songs that have been identified by the panel of judges, we will be working with them to improve the quality, and they will be in the marketplace for our independence celebration. Additionally, we're not commissioning a song, so to speak, but we are working with different producers to identify some songs that can be part of our Jamaica 60th celebration.
Oh, so there could be several songs.
Yes. Yes.
So we're saying then.
Can I interject right there, please?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Berger say, no, you're from Ali and myself enough. Let me also just reiterate that there will be an album, a compilation album for Jamaica 68, because I don't hear anybody talk about that yet. And the 3 songs that were being identified are songs that will be used for that project. Also, may I tell you that we have come up with a panel, have come up with a song from day one. When we listened to all the songs, there was one song that jumped out at all of us. And we all said, yes, if there's to be a competition, this would be the winning song, but one song doesn't make the competition. So we still have that song, and I think that song is a jumper. It will have everybody dancing and jumping and carrying on. So it's not like there's no song there. And remember, there's a compilation album for our Jamaica 68th. But let me just say this to Anthony, Richie, and all the music people, and Berger. Can you imagine if from the songs that we have gotten, that we had carelessly choose some songs for whatever reason and put them together and send them out to you guys who are music people? I'm sure you all would have been very disappointed with us.
I think the issue,
because if they are
though, I think the issue,
substandard in any way, shape, or form, we would be at fault for that.
I think the issue, though, that this is a Jubilee year, and to the extent that we have a guarantee that there's going to be a competition next year, you know, something should have been done from last year to make sure that we did have a competition this year. But, and whilst acknowledging that there was a general trend to, you know, falling standards coming in from entrance.
As I said, you know, until we got and we didn't know what we were going to get. We couldn't predetermine the future from the judge's perspective.
Okay. Richard, you're through with your question?
Finally, what do we tell our listeners? I mean, when we go on air Monday, can we say to listeners, hey, it is not too late. If you have a song that you've been medsing that could fit into our 60th, still submit it, still make contact with the JCDC. What do we tell the listeners?
Thank you for that question, Richie.
Well, I think I could have to answer that question, Richie. As you know very well, music is not something you just jump into the studio and just make a song in 5 minutes. Production takes time, and especially if you want to do it right. So we're working with a time constraint here as well. So if we were to go back and to try reproduce 10 songs from what we had listened to, August is not going to be fitting for that. It's not going to be ready by then because it does take a lot of technical work, as you all know. Yeah. So
you know, sorry, Freddie. You know what I think? To suffice the nation and to soothe the wound, get 60 of Jamaica's musicians and singers and everybody together in a room like a USA for Africa project and do a song, do a national song. I think that will heal the wound. I think if you ever compile something now with the announcement, it's still gonna have a bitter taste in people's mouth. But if you put 60 of our known Chronics, Bujo, Ali, and everybody together.
Put those 60 persons together.
A professional
look here, let me say this to you. Remember, the minister had asked us to come and support her to build back the festival song competition. I am not a festival song singer, but I was willing to participate and give, no, listen me out. I was willing to participate and give up myself for my culture and for my country. That's me. I think that's why Gus is here. That's why Alien is here. That's why Clevie, Out Time Busy Time, is here also. So while we accept that we want to assist, how many people are willing to assist? Everybody's here. I mean, yes, but who are willing to step up and do so?
Miss Babs Gridge, the Honorable Minister is the Honorable Minister. She said, well, she needs 60 people, 60 talent right now, them will come forward. We know that.
Can I suggest in the they tell the people and say, they have been advised by the panel of judges that there's one big bad song will soon come out and when it come out, they be the judge of in the interim.
Okay, just before Minister come in, Giovanni, your hand has been up for a little while. We'll take you, and right after that, we'll ask Minister to share her comments with us.
Mr. Leo, hands was up too.
Who is that?
Oh, that's
No, she
fine.
took it down.
The question was asked and I got my
Okay,
answer.
okay.
Thank you.
Just a couple of questions. Mr. McGregor, you noted that there will be an album commemorating Jamaica 60. Whose songs will make up this commemorative album? I noticed you had said as well that the 3 songs that you like and will be working on from the entries this year will be included on that album, but who are the others and where will they be drawn from? That's one question.
That is not a question for me to answer. I think
I think I would say in due course our minister will make a statement on that.
Correct.
Okay. The other thing, and I'll direct this to the minister, as given that she's coming to speak. Obviously, the criticisms have already started, and people are saying, look, it's a big year, Jamaica 60. This is poor planning and logistics that has led to this. Minister, what do you say? 1 and 2, do you support the call from veteran musician Grub Cooper, who said that, look, the competition should be taken, the responsibility should be stripped from the JCDC and privatized, with the JCDC endorsing the winner or the top 3, given what he says is too much political interference with the competition? Your response to that suggestion from Grub Cooper?
You want me to respond now?
Yes, Minister, you can come in.
Can you hear me? All right. No, I totally reject.
We have lost you, Minister.
We're losing Minister. Yes, we are.
But if at all possible, Mr. Hill, I would really love
Totally reject that comment. And
All right, Minister is back on.
And I'm offended by it. And Grub Cooper, of all the people, should not say that. And I have many reasons why I can speak firmly and strongly about that. And I think he should apologize and withdraw that statement. That's my firm position.
I'm sorry, Minister, is it possible for you to just make that comment again? Because I'm trying to record what you're saying, and you're not.
In a non, I reject that.
Minister, can you stop with that one spot? You're breaking up in here, not coming through.
Okay, I will try to repeat what I'm saying. Grub Cooper should withdraw that statement. He, more than anyone else, knows that the JCDC or in the music sector, I'm a practitioner and I do not even insert myself as a practitioner. And neither do I as the minister. This panel will tell you that I had absolutely no recommendation, and because of my respect for them as professionals, I accepted their recommendation. Moving on. I want to say that definitely there will be a competition next year. I've instructed the JCDC for over the next 12 months to do workshops across the island. I don't know if you're hearing me.
Yes, we are hearing you, Minister.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Hill. I'm not seeing her, and I'm so sorry to be a bit of a tick here, but I'm thinking in terms of news purposes, and I'm not seeing her on screen, and the audio isn't so good at all. Any of what she has said, no. I don't know if you could stop somewhere in minutes, or just for about 30 seconds to a minute.
But my camera is on.
The camera is on.
I'm coming in from the country, Giovanni.
I understand.
I'm coming in from the country.
I'd be very willing to call you immediately after this on Zoom or something, but because even the audio quality isn't good enough. I don't know if there's anything the technical team can do.
All right.
But I'd really want to hear what you're saying clearly and to be able to see you.
All right. You want to pull over, Trey?
We're hearing you better now, you know. But we're
Yeah,
not
but while
seeing you.
driving, the same thing is going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, she listen to yeah.
I'm going to stop and let's see if it will be better. Just give me a moment.
You sound better at this moment. We're not seeing you.
I don't know why you're not seeing me because my camera is on. Okay. All right, so let's see here. All right, you're hearing me better now.
Yes.
All right.
Giovanni?
Are you
I
seeing
am
me
hearing her.
now?
Could the person who is the host of the meeting just make minister just pin her? If you just click on her the tab with her name and just pin her, I'll see her because I'm seeing now on my screen Mr. Gussie Clark.
We are not seeing you though, Giovanni.
Yeah, because I turned off my camera because I wasn't sure if it was my camera affecting her because I was speaking, because I really do want to hear what she's saying clearly so I can take something accurate from what she's saying.
And you're still not seeing me, right?
No, I'm not, but I'm hearing you, and what I'll probably do is just use the audio because the audio is a little bit better now.
Uh-huh. All right, so we're fine. We're fine now in terms of audio?
I don't know if I'm
Better
the
than
only
before,
one.
yes.
It's distorted.
Yes, it
All
is.
right,
It
all
really
right.
is distorted.
I would ask you to Mr. Hill, continue the discussion and give me 5 minutes. Let me go to a better
Minister.
location. Right, okay, good.
Okay.
So Mr. Hill, go ahead and I will.
Yes. Okay. That would be your question, Giovanni. Any other questions?
Suggestion?
Yes, and suggestions as well. Go ahead, Richie.
May I speak?
Yes.
Richard here again from Yard Media
yes.
and Jamaicans.com. I hear the mention of this one particular song that, you know, as a couple of the members of the panel seem to suggest that the song has the makings of a good song. What is the plan to release that song out there? And if that is done, is the intention to offer that song as the song for our 60th independence anniversary observance?
All right. Anybody wish to comment? All right. The song, we have spoken to both the producer, the songwriter, and the performer, and they are making arrangements to improve the quality of the production. So that we expect to be completed within a week. Thereafter, we will have another listening, make sure that it is okay. And thereafter, we will make arrangement and we're treating the 3 songs in a similar manner. We will make arrangements for the songs to be released as part of the songs that will guide our Jamaica 60 celebration. Now, additionally, we will consider a song to be what would be referred to as a theme song for Jamaica 60. So that song is on the table for consideration as a theme song for Jamaica 60.
A follow-up question. It's song you keep stepping back to the other 2 songs, which suggests that there are three songs that are in line that are reasonably good songs.
The panel of judges have stated to you that yes, there are 3 songs that we're working with, but there is 1 song that stands out among the rest.
And so it begs the question for me, would it be, because Jamaicans are still looking at this thing in terms of a song that the country select as this song. If we put this, is there a plan to put these 3 songs out there and sort of by poll or whatever to get that feedback from the nation as to the song that they would choose of the three? My question.
No, all right, let me put it in this perspective. As it is now, the song that is referred to as the song that will have persons jumping to and dancing to is the preferred song. But I think we all know that with reproduction, other songs, the other two songs could also improve. But as it is, that song is being considered to be identified as the theme song for Jamaica 60. I say consider because final decision has not yet been taken.
Mr. Chair, if you please.
Yes, sir.
Being quite respectful to the judges, the panel of judges in the selection of the song, still have a concern because it was mentioned that we're moving from the mentor era and that sounded, but still, what I'm saying, I'm being very careful. I'm looking at the judges. They are very experienced. I'm not going to look at Freddie and say him beard white and say him old. I'm going to say he's experienced. But where are the other judges in terms of those persons with a age composition that will be able to now bridge the gap between that generation and this generation? I'm not seeing even a Not Nice on the panel. I'm not seeing a Nigel from Rough Cut Band or some other young persons. I'm seeing Alain very good. But you follow where I'm going? The transition between the ages.
But Alain represent that. You just say it.
Not fully. I'm a friend.
Well, Alain, a whole one. That you call Alain?
No, I never said that.
You never said, but you inferred it.
You
Alain, stop it. Stop it, Alain.
And I hope this will get cold on you, sir. But it is a mixture. Actually, the three songs are three different types of Jamaican music. So of course we have different forms of our music, and we respect and we're open to listening to the mental submission, as well as the reggae submissions, as well as, you know, the different types of ska as well. But so it's not just one type. So it's different types of Jamaican music that will be represented in the three that we have selected.
And might I had a point here. We recognize that we have two different choices as judges. One, our professional opinion and our personal opinion. And our professional opinion in this instance was what guided us much more than our personal opinion. So that in itself kind of semi-balances the age perspective of which you're referring to. Because, for example, if something out of tune or not in sync and the tempo is wrong, the age would make a difference there. It is just technically incorrect. If the sounds of the piano was too high or too low, it's a mixing issue. That is a professional opinion. So we separated them.
It was a quality concern.
Yes, yeah. And
for all, you know, and that matters.
And if I may add a comment to Berger. For instance, last year, despite we are still in the pandemic era, one of the positives to me was the number of young people who were in the final 10. And it is because we have actually reached out and we try to encourage young people to be a part of the competition. And we did have a number of them in the final 10 last year. So it is something that we are very conscious of, and we try as best as we can to get them to be a part of the process. But as the judges have said in the final analysis, it is just the quality of the submissions. It has no impact on whether you are male, female, young or old or anything, because they do not look at that. They don't know that when they are listening to the songs. It's just the quality of what is submitted.
Quality of content is and has always been king.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah, go ahead, Richie.
Since we are seemingly off to a late start, why not try to partner with some of the promoters of some of the big summer events and try to get at least those those three that have been selected. If you could get them on to perform during those celebrations, Sumfest, maybe Dream Weekend, whatever, and start a serious campaign to see if we can build a vibe towards the 60th celebration. Maybe that would be helpful.
I agree with that.
Yeah. It's something that we have tried working with. I think a few years ago, we did arrange for the festival song winner to perform on Sumfest. I think his performance was very early in the night, so maybe you would not have seen him. But we did arrange for that to be done, and that's part of the exposure that we try to give to the winners and persons who participate in the competition. Marlon, I see your hand is up.
Yes, I have a question regarding the compilation. My question is what is the source of the songs that are selected for the compilation? Are they new songs or are they previously released songs? And when can they be expected to be out so that they can garner some airplay?
Well,
Mr. Hill,
yes.
sure you want to answer that one?
I did say that all of the issues relating to that album would be dealt with by Minister when she would make an announcement at an appropriate time. So I don't think either of us would want to comment on that at this time.
Okay, thank
we
you.
reserve those comments for the Honorable Minister at the appropriate time.
But what I can say to Marlon on that subject is,
understood,
whilst that album is being worked on, because remember, this is something that will need time to get it right. We have found 3 songs. And as Mr. Hill indicated, we are planning to assist with the upgraded production of those songs to make them what we think they should be. And don't lose this point. It is Jamaica's 60th. I'm sure if you get an album from us that is substandard, you're going to be very disappointed with us or in us. So we want to make sure that the production of these 3 songs that we've mentioned to you, these are the songs that will more than likely be ready for airplay and everything else, whilst the rest of the album is in production.
Yep.
Okay, looking forward to those.
Thank you.
All right, if the Chairman, do you know if Minister is available to come back in?
I think she would indicate when she's
No, she's
ready.
not. She's not. She's still driving. But if there's no other question, we need to pretty much wrap. If that is the case. Let me
I
just
don't
reach
know if
out
there's
quick
anyone from the JCBC or the team now hosting the press conference. If they could just assist in arranging for me to just do a one-on-one with the minister, because I'm working on a story for Primetime News tonight, and I really do want to hear her response to the 2 questions I'd asked.
Okay, I think our chairman, Mr. Cesar, will coordinate that with you.
In the interim, I'd like to make a...
Oh, yes, Clevie, you were saying something
yes,
earlier. Yes,
yeah,
please.
my point wasn't brought across. As a drummer, putting on my musician cap now, over the 60 years, we have seen an increase in the number of rhythmic patterns introduced into our music. And 60 years down the road, I believe we have a myriad of choices that producers might turn to. But how does it impact radio and your playlist when a new experimental rhythm is introduced? We look at things like that. And there were some songs as such where I believe the authors might have believed that the songs were the excellent, they gave it their best shot, but rhythmically, it did not appeal in the way we wanted it to be vibrant to the nation. You know, and as such, we have to be careful that we do not present experimental things that will take a little while for people to adopt, for the masses to adopt. You know, so we have seen ska, mentor, rocksteady, reggae, and so on presented. And of course, the new generation going into Afrobeat, which is straying a bit from our heritage and our culture and our own Jamaican music. So a lot of these points will need to be addressed for the future, for persons to fully understand what is required. You know, so that's my bit on it. You know, so I believe we have a bright future ahead, because this move will be a learning process for those entrants that just did not make it.
Okay, thank you, Cleve. I think Chairman mentioned that.
She's
Minister
trying to
will
join
come
us.
back.
She's just getting logged off, but she's coming back in.
Okay. Jojo? Jojo Mack, your hand is up.
I entered the competition. I'm Jojo Mack. I'm a singer-songwriter, and I'm representing Energy Radio 1 right now as a presenter. Well, with the year that Heather Grant won the competition, I entered the competition. My name was Goldie then. I entered with a Heat in the Street song, right? And I love the process and everything. But one of the things that kept me from coming back and wanting to enter again was the fact that there was almost a stigma on the competition, wherein if you entered and you even won, then you remain a festival song singer, and that's it. You don't get that international, accolade. You don't get to go out abroad and do the thing as a festival song competition winner. So I was suggesting that maybe like they do the Miss Jamaica thing, where the winner gets to do these things out for the year, for that entire year. Then the competition winner should be able to represent in different places and on different stages as the winner of the competition for that year throughout the year. Also, I was thinking that maybe the time frame for people to enter the competition should start a little earlier. Soon after the last winner is announced, then maybe a few months later, you start getting people to send in their entries. So that way you have a lot of time to sift it out.
Okay.
That's it.
Comment noted. It's your last comment is something that we can look at in terms of a net to look at the entries that come in. As it is now, what we do is that we basically accept all entries, and it is at the end of the closing of the entry period that we then take all the songs and arrange for a panel of judges to adjudicate on them. I think you're suggesting, and that suggestion has come across from other avenues as well, that we do look at them and see whether they are worthy of this competition or not. And as the suggestion that was mentioned earlier, we can channel some of them to an amateur competition instead of into the festival song competition. So it's something worthy of looking at. I see Marlon hand is up as well.
Yes, just to basically going on what Jojo Mack was saying, I have found over the years, with regards to the stigma of being labeled festival artists, I have found that as well, because even established artists have done some very beautiful patriotic songs, and I have suggested to them maybe they should enter it into the festival competition, and they have said that, and I've got it from every time I make that suggestion, I get the same response from various established artists that they don't want to be labeled a festival artist. So I do believe that stigma does exist. And going forward, I'm wondering if there's a way to destigmatize it.
I would want to believe that that stigma was removed when artists like Freddie McGregor and Buju Banton entered the competition. You know, maybe those unknowns might be considered festival artists, but then we see where Eric Donaldson was a star, was born, previously unknown, and having won the competition, he became known.
Became a star.
Became a star. Right. Yes. So I think
I am not
self-made stigma.
I am not seeing a problem so much because Jojo made some very valid points. It's a pity that we only focus on the latter points, because she said more promotion must go into it. We have jerk festivals in Miami and all of these places. And I get the point that she's making. The JCDC has to do more now in promoting the song to the artists, to the diaspora and all these things. Nothing wrong. I mean, who bigger than those names now? Who bigger than the Eric Donalds, the Roy and the astronauts? They're still loved. And if you put them for any jerk festival right now, any one of those names, you know, them are gonna tear up over there. They're gonna tear up Florida. Allow me to tell Florida people, talk truth.
You're right.
I can hold for that. So nothing wrong with the stigmatization, but we need to do more in promoting them, right? In promoting them, because it's like when the competition done, we'll park them in a one corner until next year come. And that's not how even Trinidad operates with Carnival.
When you say we, can you explain that we park them? We,
well, are we?
Well, don't you think that's something that needs to be, yeah, but don't you think that's something that needs to be dealt with?
Yeah,
because
that's why we're not
good
meeting.
music don't need to be parked up.
But
Good music
Freddie,
needs to
that's
be played by all and sundry.
But
Can I come in here?
Yeah,
come in here? Look, all of what is said, I haven't heard a bad idea. So we just need to, we can't fine tune and agree to stuff here, because it's a whole lot of infrastructure and coordination and agreement between multiple entities. So I think they should be taken into consideration going forward and what can work. But also, oil always rises to the top in where talent is involved.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, can we have the Minister, Honorable Minister Grange is back. Can we have her respond to the question first from Giovanni Dennis, because I know he has to leave for his news preparation.
Yes,
and then any other thereafter before we wrap. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm open for questions now. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for
Good afternoon again, Minister.
Good afternoon, Minister.
Giovanni, you want to just rephrase your question?
Saturday, or the Saturday when you would normally be relaxed. So I really want to especially thank the media for making themselves available, and to the adjudication panel, as well as to the JCDC staff, which is normally out in the field at this time. I really want to thank you all. And just to say to our listeners and our viewers that, you know, I understand your passion and your interest in the Jamaica City celebrations and the festival song competition. And I'm here to respond to your questions.
Okay, Giovanni, I'll give you the first opportunity to speak to Minister.
All right, thanks so much. So, Minister, firstly, what do you say to Jamaicans now who will be looking on and saying, listen, this was poor planning and logistics and organization from first at the top, the Jamaica, the Ministry of your ministry, and then the JCDC. How do you respond to those criticisms and concerns? One, and two, what are your thoughts on the suggestion from Grub Cooper when he said that, listen, he believes that there's too much political interference with the competition, arguing that to get this thing right, the competition needs to be privatized, while the JCDC can simply endorse the winners. Vernon Darby, a former chairman of the Festival Song Competition, has said that, listen, the music industry is boycotting the competition because of structural problems at the JCDC. How do you respond to those concerns from those persons?
Okay, firstly, I just want to, in responding to Grub, to indicate there's no political interference, and he knows better than that. And I know that maybe, you know, he's a little disappointed why he's saying that, but he knows there is no political interference. And I think the industry recognize the way I work. The JCDC understands the way I work, and I do not interfere. I provide guidelines and I provide policy directives, and I allow everyone to do what they have to do. And I'm a little disappointed that Grub would say that, but I understand. You know, I understand his disappointment. In relation to the competition being privatized, there is nothing to prevent any private individual or organization to establish a competition. So if anyone is free to have a festival song competition. You can call it a song festival, you can call it a festival song, you can call it a music festival, whatever they want. They're free to have a festival where songs and songwriters compete. So the JCDC or the government doesn't need to privatize a competition that it feels it has a responsibility to promote, because the mandate of the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission is to unearth talent, groom talent, showcase talent, and promote Jamaican culture to the world. That's our mandate. And we will always ensure that we fulfill that mandate. And anyone else is free to put on a competition that they wish to put on. In terms of the industry and the opinion expressed that the industry boycotts the competition because of structural issues relating to the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, I wouldn't say the industry boycotts the competition. I would say that in recent times, over the years, I don't think musicians, singers, songwriters, and artists like to be in a competition, because in a competition, you have one winner, one top winner. There may be other categories that they will be awarded for, but it's one winner. And I think in the industry, I think the professionals at this time don't want to be in a competition to appear to be a loser. And so that, in a way, stands in the way of the industry coming fully on board in participating in the festival song competition. I made an effort over the years that, in the first place, the competition was established to find that song that would be on the lips of every man, woman, and child. That concept was put forward by Mr. Seaga when he said, look, we have created festival, we have our celebrations, we need that one thing that can unite and bring everybody together and rally the nation and call the nation to action. That was why that competition was established. And in those days, entries, professionally produced songs were submitted to the JCDC, and the radio station, at that time we didn't have 11 radio stations, 11 and more. We had the JBC, we had RGR, and the stations would give those songs heavy rotation. And it was almost a passion. The radio personalities felt an obligation to play those songs and to give those songs heavy rotation. It's not so at this time. At this time, we literally have to beseech, we have to pay for time, and we have to put that much more into getting the songs we choose exposed. But in the early days, a number of our well-established artists now would put their songs out. I just want to divert and give you an example. There is a well-known writer, and in fact, he was a singer as well, who is now passed. He entered his song in the competition, and it was not selected. And he took that song to a well-established artist who also is deceased. And he said to him, I'm upset that they did not select my song to be in the festival song competition. So I'm giving it to you to record it. That song was recorded and became one of the biggest hits worldwide. That song was Stepping Razor, written by Joe Higgs and given to Peter Tosh to record. That song was recorded and Peter Tosh was given the credit as a writer. Joe came to me and I was able to go to the JCDC files to see that that entry was submitted, and Joe was the writer. And as a result, Peter wrote a letter relinquishing his control of that song, and Joe got back his song and got back his copyright. I'm saying all of this to say to you that the festival song competition is an important part of the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, an important part of our history, and an important part of our development. However,
which is why so many people are disappointed that for a 60th anniversary of our celebration, it isn't there, Minister.
Giovanni, it's a journey. Trust me. I am very passionate about the festival song competition. And those of us who have come through the festival system, we are committed to it. An administration came in and changed it from festival song to song festival. And that created a decline in the competition. My administration came back in government and reintroduced the festival song competition. It has gone through many changes. We have had judging by poll, we have judging by judges. There's always controversy. In the last couple of years, I reached out to the industry, and industry individuals, established individuals, entered the competition. Freddie McGregor, Buju Banton, and many others. For 2 years straight, one, we made the iTunes chart. We were put on over 30 digital platforms. Last year, we made the shortlist for consideration for the Grammys. We raised the quality and the level. We have always had a professional team of adjudicators selecting the songs. Babsy Granger doesn't select the songs. The minister doesn't select the songs. The JCDC does not select the songs. Professionals select the songs. This year, another panel was put together to select the songs. They listened to the songs, they made their recommendation. I respect their opinion. They recommended that they could not find 10 songs. I am the one who introduced 10 songs, a top 10. I am the one, throughout the history of this competition, I'm the one who have created milestones. They could not find 10 songs. The rules established that it must be finished products. Operating simultaneously with the festival song competition over the years has been the pop and variety competition. out of the pop and variety competition, which was more for the amateur talent, out of that, I pulled out the DJ section of that competition and created a dancehall competition. Out of that came Yellowman, Tony Rebel, and many others. I am committed to ensuring that the JCDC lives up to its mandate. So here we are, fast track. A professional panel has made a recommendation. And yes, I'm disappointed. Yes, the country is disappointed. But it does not mean that we will not have songs that can rally this nation for Jamaica 60. It just means we will not have a competition. No, we can have a competition between the 3 songs that they have selected. That's a decision that one can make. But I want to highlight something here. We have, over the years, selected 10 songs. There have been some persons who have criticized us to say, boy, the festival song over the year, the quality low, the quality this, the quality that. And so, you know, if you do one or the other, there will always those who criticize. COVID created some delay in the workshops that are normally held. In my announcement, I said I've instructed the JCDC to ramp up the workshops over the next 12 months so that we will be in a better position next year. We will have a competition next year. I'm committed to a festival song competition. So this year, what we have to do is make a determination. Do we have a competition between those 3 songs? Or do we have those 3 songs released and use those songs as the 10 songs have done in the past? Because remember now, maybe it's just like a week or so prior to the independence celebrations that we have selected the winning song. So we have always been able to use 10 songs to rally the nation, and closer to the festival celebrations, to Independence Day, we have 1 song selected. So it's not that we will not have songs that can rally the nation. So I want to say to the media, and I want to say to the public, there are 3 songs that have been selected. Normally, it's a competition between 10 songs. Do we want a competition between 3 songs? Or do we want, as was also recommended to me, and I have started initiating that, is to have a Jamaica 60 commemorative album on which those 3 songs will also be part of that compilation. And
what are the other songs that would make up that album? I'm so sorry.
The other songs, those would be more or less either commission songs or requests to individuals. And I have approached a number of persons and I've had responses from some of them. So it will have a coffee track. It will have a Shaggy track. It will have a Freddie McGregor track. It will have an Omi track. It will have a track from Inner Circle. I mean, there are a number of persons who have expressed an interest to make a contribution. There are a number of producers who are speaking to a number of Jamaican artists who they would want to produce tracks with them. The process has started. With or without a Jamaica Festival Song Competition, we will have a Jamaica 60 commemorative album.
And when will this be ready for?
I'm sorry?
When will this be ready?
It will be ready shortly, and I will make that announcement soon. I want to say this, that when Jamaica got its independence, Mr. Seaga commissioned and had a Jamaica Independence album produced. A copy of that album now is at the National Library. I'm going to pull that and I'm going to release the information what that particular album comprises. It's a compilation of various artists and various genres. This commemorative album for Jamaica 60 will be similar, various artists, various genres. Now, it is for me now at a policy level to have a discussion and to be guided even by cabinet. Do we have a competition between the 3 songs, or do we just release the 3 songs? Do we select one of those songs as the theme song for Jamaica 60? These are things that will be announced in a matter of days. I would like to encourage those persons who are saying, oh, how are you going to have a festival without a song? We are going to have a Jamaica 60 celebration with some excellent songs. And we will have songs to rally the nation. So it's not a matter, it's a question of, we're not having a competition, but we will satisfy the need that songs will be there to rally the nation. I just want to express my appreciation to the panel, to the team that agreed to adjudicate. And every year we have persons who we invite to adjudicate, and it's a difficult task for them. And they also put themselves right up front in the firing line if their decision is not the decision that people are happy with. But they agreed to serve their country, and I appreciate it. And I really want to say to them, thank you for agreeing to do so. And I do appreciate your opinion and your professionalism.
Will it be this Monday that you'll be going to cabinet to decide whether we run all 3 songs as part of the celebration this year or have a competition?
Yes, it would be Monday. But I just want to add here, do we want to have a competition with 10 songs, no matter the quality of the songs? Is that what we want as a country? Is that what we really want? Is that what? Will radio stations play those songs? I mean,
I think
hard enough getting the radio stations to play the songs. We think we have selected good songs.
Honorable Minister, maybe it's.
Yes, go ahead, brother.
I'm just saying, maybe it is time that we take a new approach, because as you mentioned, it's hard getting some of the stations to play the song because of the substance. Maybe it's time we move away from this 10 song for true. Because if you notice, the attention span of this younger generation, it is eroding. When you go to a session right now and they are juggling, them play like the punchline and they mix out. So the attention span for stand up and listen to one song from start to finish. Maybe we have to move from the 10th song now and just get on the top 5.
Maybe that is something that we can take into consideration. There have been a lot of suggestions, a lot of recommendations, and I'm open to them. And I will look at all the suggestions made and see how we can treat with those recommendations, because there are some good recommendations that have come forward. Maybe we should move away from the 10. Maybe we should go to 5. Maybe the 3 should now be put out at competition.
No, I don't like the 3, Minister. 3 is not a good number in cash pot.
Exactly. And 3, you know, there's a negative thing to number 3.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
But Minister, before you came, the point was raised where we should start looking at promotion. We have the jerk festivals overseas and other events, you know, that we should now look to carry the winners. Just like, as they said, you treat a Miss Universe or a Miss Jamaica, you carry them on other international events to the diaspora to get familiar. And thirdly, before I go, I've always asked a question. In the time when an astronaut or
Stanley and the turbine and whoever.
Stanley and the turbine. From those days in the 70s when those artists, when they were the winner, I'm saying, where is the runner-up songs for those era? Because I guarantee you those runner-up songs would be champion songs right now, the runner-up songs. And nobody has been able to answer that question.
Those songs, and we do play those songs, and we use them when we are promoting festival. We use them for different things. We use them to promote Melaga Round. We use them. Some of the songs we used were not the winning songs, but they were songs that impacted on the country. As
I would love to have them.
songs they exist. But I must tell you even more. What we have done now at the JCDC, we have made sure that everybody whose song has been selected from the 10, they all become members of a society because some were not members of a society. They write the songs. As long as you're a songwriter and your song is in the competition, you have to join a performing rights society. You're a producer, your song is in the competition, you have to join jams, right? And we have made sure that everybody is compliant in terms of best practices in the industry so that they can earn their royalties and so that their works are properly protected. This never happened in the past. And so the festival song has appeared on over 30 digital platforms across the world. And earnings are coming in for these songwriters, singers, producers. This has never happened before in the past. So there are a lot of good things happening in the structuring of the festival song competition. The JCDC now has an attorney on staff, and everybody who signs a contract gets a chance to read the contract and understand what they're signing. They get counsel before they sign. We are moving into a professional approach to the competition. And I really want the country to understand that, and for everyone to understand that we cannot go on over 30 digital platforms across the world if we have inferior productions. And we do not have time to take a production from scratch to completion and then select the winning song. So what comes in as an entry must be a finished product. It must be well produced. There must be the musicians, the instruments, the instrumentation, the arrangement must be proper. And these are the criteria that has been established for the entries. If they are not up to that standard, then they can't be selected. Jamaica is now a global brand. We have to improve our level and our quality. And that's all I am trying to do. And that's all when I involve professionals, I'm asking them to ensure. So we are going to reintroduce the pop and variety competition where we unearth the talent, we groom the talent, we showcase the talent. But the festival song competition must maintain that level of professionalism if we are going to go to the world. I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you, Bergerman.
So let me tell them, yes, I'm saying this again respectfully, Minister. You know, everybody a human, you know. Everybody is a human being. And, you know, as a broadcaster, only my national pride will allow me to say, let me play that tune there because I love my country, but there's no other motivation really. And I'm not saying monetary or anything like that. That's not the point. But I'm saying again, the approach has to change. I believe close down to the competition or even you need to meet again in a forum probably like this with all the DJs and the announcers and make an appeal, a one-on-one appeal for people to get back that sense of urgency and national pride. Because you understand what I'm saying? It
Okay.
sounds away, but it's the truth. It's the truth.
No,
Because
it's not sound away. It is the truth.
if I never respect you know, you wouldn't even see me right as today, you know, because I'm saying even at the Jamaica 60th launch, I wasn't invited. May I say Jimmy Cliff? No, me I tell you, Mr. Jimmy Cliff 50. Upon ER, me watch it. Thank you, Anthony Miller. Me I say when them something to keep. Me don't know what them something there. But me say as now, me if I come to damage control, me get invited now meeting me I thought my mouth. No, my mouth Lego. But me I tell you the truth. So you know feel that sense of we don't even feel a part of the thing. So why then when the time come, you're gonna give me the song to play? You follow me? I say, Freddie, talk truth.
Yeah, may I hear you. But also, Berger, I must say to you that there's a difference here. You see, when it comes to anything to do with our country, this national Jamaica, those of us who love our country and mean our country well, whether it be music or not, we are to step up and assist when we are called. And this includes yourself as a radio disc jockey. And,
How much are we left?
Well, a few, including yourself and people like Richie B. Well, the people who
All
have
right,
turned up here today,
gentlemen,
the people who are
Well, let me, I see
Minister, I
Jojo.
just want to remind them it's a press conference, so we have to have the questions asked.
Yes,
so that
yes.
we can filter the questions out. to the
Jojo
And then
is
the
next on Minister.
And Richard Burgess.
Yeah, followed by Richie B.
Yes, Richie B, how are you?
Hi, Minister. I'm good. How are you?
I want to tell you what you're on radio.
Minister Grange.
And the rest is history. Go ahead, Richie B.
Oh,
I
right.
think Jojo first, Minister. Jojo and then Richie.
Yes, I won't be able to.
Yeah, Jojo.
I want to say
Yes, I'm here. My face not ready to be presented right now, Minister, but I'm looking at your beautiful face. You know, I was suggesting earlier, you know, that one of the things that I noticed, because I was telling them that I did enter the competition back when Heather Grant won, and I didn't want to do it again, you know, because I didn't feel like there was any status quo to the thing where, you know, we were stigmatized as being, you know, festival song singers and stuff like that, because we were not put out there to the diaspora for people to actually see what we could do outside of that festival song. So I was suggesting that, you know, one of the things that we could do is like they do with the Miss Jamaica competition. They could probably do stuff like, you know, make sure that throughout the year, that song, that singer gets to be on certain type of stages, the big shows, because you know you have the power to do all of that, Minister. You can get them on any stage you want. You are Babsy great, and you're great. You can do these things, and you know, even get them out in the diaspora, get them to the US, get them to the UK, so they can see that there's something more to it than just them being a festival song singer.
Jojo, thank you so much for that comment, and you're right on. We do make the effort, our festival song winner, and even those who are finalists, we usually have them appear throughout the year and beyond that year at different events. Where we have a difficulty is that the radio stations don't continue to play the songs. They only play them around festival time. And we have encouraged persons in writing songs that they write a song that can be lasting. And we have had a number of those entries where the songs are not just about or says festival time, but it speaks to Jamaican life, Jamaican livity, Jamaican living. But after festival, the stations hardly ever play these songs. And I really, you know, would want to appeal for the stations to play these songs. And maybe Bergerman is right. There needs to be more communication and with the radio stations and the radio personalities, and build a stronger and better relationship with them so that they will understand, have a better understanding of what we're doing and the objectives. But we do send up these artists, we send them up overseas. They perform, even at Reggae Song Fest, the winner perform, but they put him on early. And you know, most people go to these events late because they stay until the wee hours of the morning. But we will continue to work hard to build on what we have and to certainly promote the talent. And I mean, for example, we have had a number of artists who have come through the festival song competition and the gospel song competition, who are now well established. For example, the gospel song competition, we have a number of well established gospel artists who came through that, you know? And so I'm going to take all these suggestions on board, and we're going to do our best to satisfy these concerns.
Okay, Richie, your time.
And not to take up too much time. Not to take up too much more time, but one of the other things I was thinking was that, you know, the person who win the competition this year or the year before could present you know, to the winner the following year and do their song one last time on stage in the next competition, you know, pretty much like you do the beauty pageants. I would think that's a great thing to culminate the whole thing.
That's what we do. That's what we actually do. But maybe we need to do more. We need to promote more. And what I can say to you, that we are now penetrating the Jamaican diaspora worldwide. And so, and our numbers are growing. Although COVID set us back a bit, it also created an opportunity where we were able to do that much more virtually. And so we are reaching the diaspora in a much wider way. And a number of things that you have suggested, you will see those unfolding. Okay, Jojo?
Thank you. Richie, your time. Richie B.
Thank you.
All right. Minister, I was wondering, as it relates to the other songs that will make the commemorative album, whether or not the ministry or the JCDC will be underwriting the cost of production or incentivizing those productions in any way. Could you?
There will be some underwriting. There'll be some contribution, but the majority of the cost is being picked up by the individuals who are doing the production. Because, you know, producing an album or producing tracks for an album is quite an expensive exercise. And the JCDC would not be in a position to fully fund that. But the persons who are willing and who have reached out and who have responded have indicated that they want to contribute to Jamaica 60. And so they're willing to partner with us.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank
So
you. Any other questions?
I think, I don't know if Anthony Miller has left us. I don't see him here, but I heard him earlier asking some questions. And I know, Giovanni, are you satisfied with the answers you received? Giovanni?
I am looking through, I think, yes, and it appears that he may have left.
Well,
but there are no other questions online at this time, Minister. So
I noticed in the chat room, on the chat, Jojo had mentioned some sort of symbolism. She said a crown that is passed on year to year. You know, it could be something like a golden mic, you know, something that is coveted. And throughout the year, you would be the holder, the winner would be the holder of that golden mic. So apart from the prize money and all that, you are seen as that winner holding, as long as you hold that mic, you know, and that mic probably could be a key for your acceptance to perform on any show of your choice. If the promoters would agree to that. It's like a key to the show.
The champion is usually given a trophy, but it's a good idea. We could look at what else could be.
Hello?
Right? Usually the winner keeps the trophy, but we can have something that is symbolic that could be actually passed on to each winner each year. I just want to, Mr. Sims is still in the press conference. Mr. Hill, is Mr. Sims still in?
I'm just looking if Gregory is still here, Minister.
There was actually a schedule worked out for the festival song competition leading into the finals. You wouldn't have that schedule handy?
No, I don't have it with me, but I know initially this song, we would have concluded the song by about the second week of July or the end of June into the first week of July. That was the initial schedule.
What would you have concluded at that time?
The show for selecting the winner.
Okay. All right. So I don't know, Freddie, any more comments? You have any comments?
I at this time, no, Minister. I just want us to get on with those 3 songs that we've selected, get them ready, so we can appease the people's appetite.
Right. Donovan, what is your take on it?
Donovan, you need to unmute your mic.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm in agreement with getting the songs out in the street to kind of quell down all this noise made out there, you know. So we should try and get these songs out as soon as possible with the commemorative album coming out.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Elaine?
Agreed. I just think we need to make these 3 songs sound the best that they can, you know, and really push them, because they're good songs. They have a lot of potential and they can work, you know. We just need to get people excited and to make them know that we are committed to improving the overall standard of the competition, which we believe can be improved, and we're willing to work with the people, you know, and to just reignite this feeling, this love for festival song competition, because it is in us and we just need to reignite the fire. So that's what we're doing.
Good, thank you. Gussie?
I think my fellow judges have said it all, Minister.
Yes. I would love to hear what TV has to say.
Being a first-time judge, what I want to go back to, I'm in agreement with the other judges on that previous point there of promoting the 3 and having them available to the public. But as a first-time judge, I would like to make it clear that I was not coerced in any way to make my decisions, and it was a fair judging process. The process for judging the songs was left up to the judges, and in no way we were coerced. So in response to Grub Cooper's concern, that is what it was. That's, you know, so.
Thank you.
So don't think otherwise. Please don't think otherwise.
Thanks. I don't know if Mr. Hill, if you had indicated how it is structured, that nobody knows.
Yes, I did, Minister.
Identified by a number and a title.
Yes, I did explain that process.
All right, fine. So I just asked the media to help us in communicating our position and the fact that, yes, we're disappointed, but maybe we can have a competition with the 3 songs. I don't know. I'll also consult with the adjudicators as to their feeling on the matter, as well as cabinet. All right, so I'll hand over back to Mr. Hill and to the chairman.
Yes. I think we're really at the end of this press conference now, Minister. I think we have taken all the questions and hopefully we have provided all the answers. I think so, with the additional comments that were made by our esteemed panel of judges. And you, Minister, thank you for coming in from your event to also put the icing on the cake in terms of your commentary. So thanks again to everybody, and from the JCDC team and everyone, thanks for coming and participating in this.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you,
Have
everyone.
a good afternoon.
Good
All right, everyone, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for your time.
All right, blessings, everyone.
Yes, Cleaver, we'll talk here. But Cleaver,
Yeah, yes.
I know you're probably
Definitely.
still